Welcome to Q's Garage. On this episode, we're going to be changing the oil as well as figuring out where the coolant is leaking from. Then we're going to change the coolant on this massive diesel pusher. We call it Money Green. And I'll be taking you on this journey with me as I do all the maintenance to make sure she is ready for the road. And of course, we're going to be using the best oil, Rotella T6 15W40 full synthetic. And I'm going to be using this to remove the oil filter. And this is the new oil filter that's going in its place. It holds an entire gallon of oil, and I'm using this ratchet. I like it because it extends out so I can get leverage. And I may or may not use this to transfer the oil into other containers because I have this humongous, massive wagon to collect all 6 gallons of oil. Yes, she holds 24 quarts of oil, and I may or may not use this blanket. It's looking kind of pretty, so I might just crawl under there on the floor and just spare the blanket. All depends on how I feel. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is run the engine in order to heat up the oil, maybe about 2 minutes. Then I'm going to jack up the RV so that I can get back there, actually get up under there. The engine is in the rear because it's a diesel, so I got to be able to fit my body under there and be able to use both of my arms. So that lets the jacks up, and let's go ahead and get this. That's too loose, so I'm not liking that already. The oil drain plug was too loose, but let's go ahead and get this oil out of here, and we'll tighten it up when we put it back. So we'll let all 6 gallons drain out. And it's coming out pretty fast. Even though it's 6 gallons, I don't think it's gonna take that long because it's coming out at a rapid rate and it's filling up my giant wagon fairly quick. So while that's happening, let's go ahead and get this oil filter out of here. And here's the old oil filter, here's the new oil filter. I need to take this plastic off of it, and I need to fill it up. Holds an entire gallon of oil, and I'm going to coat the gasket, make sure I get a nice seal, tighten her up hand tight, and go ahead and I like to start with just my hands to thread it in to make sure we're not doing any cross threading. And once I get that going, I go ahead and break out the ratchet and get it nice and snug. No more loose drain plugs. There we go. And I like to, since it was loose, I like to just take my hand and just see if I can, yeah, it's nice and tight. Can't budge it with my hand. That's the way it's supposed to be. And now that that's done, we just fill her up with oil. The reason why it's dark now is because I transferred all the oil from the giant wagon to the containers. Now you're looking at a big coolant puddle because it's leaking. This green stuff is leaking out of somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. Make sure you never remove this when it's hot. We're going to move this. It's full here, but we're losing coolant in the reservoir. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a pressure, add pressure about 15 psi into the system, and always wear safety glasses when going under the RV. And here we see where the leak is coming from, right from a rubber hose. So we're going to repair this rubber hose so we can stop this leak. And let's go ahead and get all this old stuff out of there. And once we get this out of here, we're going to get the green stuff out, put the red stuff in. The red stuff is the good stuff. This is lifelong coolant, and you don't have to keep adding stuff to it. And here's the new coolant filter. Here's the old coolant filter. And we just get it filled up with the red stuff. And we are good to go. We just got to make sure it holds. See you next time.